Hi. As a speaker, I've spoken about this subject several times before. I'm talking about audience placement and venues. So important to the success of a presentation. You might have a terrific presentation. You've delivered it 100 times before. It's always been successfully accepted by the audience. They've loved it. And yet you come out of that not feeling so good, even though you delivered it well. And it's often got to do with the venue. So I'd like to categorise venues just a little. Let's say 100% where everything's perfect, and we'll say 10% where everything's awful. I would suspect that over the years, over the last 50 years, I've probably spoken at 500 different venues, most of them in and around Sydney, a few in country New South Wales, and a few overseas, but mostly around Sydney. And these have been at various clubs, hotels even, all manner of venues. So let's look at the best scenario. The best is something like this: a room which is the exact size to fit the audience. If you've got a room that'll take 100 people and they're all sitting theatre style in front of you and the room is full, wonderful. If it's a smaller room and it'll take 50, great. If it's a huge room and it'll take 500, full up, great. And if everything else works, the microphone works well, you are not on a stage too far away from the audience or too high up, you can move around, all the equipment works, 100%. No excuses for you not delivering at your very best and your audience not receiving and interpreting you at your very best. Now let's look at the other end of the spectrum. Probably the worst venue I ever spoke at was an L-shaped room with the audience sitting at tables. Some of the tables were empty. Some had one or two people at, some were crowded. Some were around the corner from where I was speaking, and the optimal place to speak from so I could see everyone was the corner of the room where the two rooms intersected on an outside wall. And what was behind me? A glass door with a little step where I had to watch my step in case I fell over if I walked around. Now, these are the sort of things that you contend with as a speaker. That and perhaps background noise, lots of traffic outside. As distinct from the 100% where the room is quiet, there's no outside noise, the temperature's just right, etc. Good acoustics. Point I'm making is this: we have to present in all manner of situations. We have to take the good with the bad. Generally, things are not 100%. In fact, I can't think of any venue ever where it's been exactly 100% perfect for the speaker. Doesn't happen. And of course, the other end of the spectrum where everything is wrong doesn't occur that often, but it does occur. Things where, as I said, the L-shaped room, the tables around the corner, the people eating and drinking, the microphone cord stuck in the wall is too short to be used to any degree, all manner of things like that. We have to be able to cope with it all. Generally speaking, though, we're not at 100% and we're not way down on that 10%. More often than not, it's somewhere between 60 and 70% okay. And we've got to live with that. We've got to live with that. This is one of the reasons why it's a good idea to keep records of every presentation you've done, the venue at which you've done it, and keep those little notes as distinct. What about the venue you did not like? So much so that you might decide, no, I'm not going to speak there again. It's just not worth the effort. Now, unless you're a professional speaker, and I'm not, I go on the freebie circuit, I don't have to put up with those things. I don't have to put up with the worst. But I do have to tolerate some of the not so good. And you will have to do the same. As I said, the perfect scenario where everything is right might occur once in every 400 or 500 speeches. Mostly, as I said, you're up between the 60 and 70% mark, you're doing okay. Keep good records, make notes of what you like about a venue, what you don't like, because unless they've changed in your absence, you'll be going into exactly the same sort of scenario the second, third and fourth times around.